There is a moment in many monster movies when the creature changes. Not physically, the claws are still there, the size has not changed, but somehow the monster stops feeling frightening. It becomes exciting. The creature that once made people hide in dark rooms is suddenly standing in the middle of a city while helicopters circle overhead. The monster has not become less dangerous, but the movie has changed the way we are allowed to see it. That is the difference between monster horror and monster action. Monster horror leaves us wondering, how could anyone survive this? Monster action leaves us wondering, how are they going to fight it? Those questions sound similar, but they create very different experiences. In monster horror, we stay close to the people running from the creature. We experience it from the ground, behind a locked door, through rain, darkness, fog, or a window we are afraid to approach. We do not know where the monster is. We may not understand what it is. We may not even know what it looks like. It exists just beyond the edge of what we can see. And that uncertainty gives it power. When the creature is hidden, our minds have room to make it worse. A shadow becomes a body. A distant sound becomes movement. Something passing between two buildings becomes proof that it is much larger than we imagined. Monster horror works because the people have nowhere safe to go. The people facing the creature are usually ordinary. They may have no weapons, no plan, no special knowledge. They are not trying to defeat the monster. They are trying to get home. They are trying to stay quiet. They are trying not to be noticed. That is what makes a movie like Cloverfield feel more like horror than action, even though the destruction is enormous. The camera stays close to frighten people. We do not watch the monster from a safe distance. We catch pieces of it, a leg moving between buildings, a shape crossing the sky, a sound somewhere above the street. The destruction may be huge, but the experience remains personal. The monster is not presented as an opponent. It is presented as something happening to you, something too large to understand, something you cannot control. Monster action handles the same creature differently. The camera pulls back. The monster becomes visible. We see its full size. The military arrives. Helicopters move into position. People stop hiding and begin preparing. The monster is still dangerous, but it is no longer mysterious. It has entered the battlefield. Once the characters have weapons, information, and a plan, the audience begins thinking differently. We stop wondering whether anyone can survive. We begin wondering what strategy will work. Where is the creature weakest? How much firepower will it take? The monster becomes a problem that we can study, and once it can be studied, defeating it begins to feel possible. That is why a movie like Rampage feels like monster action. The creatures are large, destructive, and dangerous, but the movie wants us to enjoy seeing them. It wants us to watch them smash through buildings. It wants us to anticipate the next confrontation. The monsters are not hiding in the darkness. They are the spectacle. Monster action can still be scary. A fully visible creature can still remind us how small we are. But action changes the emotional temperature. Fear becomes adrenaline. Dread becomes anticipation. We want to see the monster attack. We want to see the helicopters respond. The monster becomes less like a nightmare and more like an event. Even when the military is losing, its presence tells us that the world has noticed. Someone is responding. The threat may be enormous, but it is no longer private. In monster horror, isolation is part of the terror. You know the creature is close, but help is far away. Monster action removes that loneliness. Everyone can see the monster now. The same creature can move between these two modes inside one movie. At first, we hear it. Then we glimpse it. Then we run from it. Later, the camera pulls back and lets us see the whole thing. That reveal can be thrilling, but it changes the relationship. The monster now has a shape, a size, a location, maybe even a weakness. The unknown has become known. And once a monster becomes known, it risks becoming less frightening. This is why creature reveals are so difficult. Show too little, and the audience may become frustrated. Show too much, and the fear may collapse. Monster horror lives inside that tension. The creature itself is only part of what frightens us. The rest comes from darkness, uncertainty, and the feeling that the people in the story are completely unprepared. Monster action offers a different pleasure. It gives us scale, movement, destruction, the impossible sight of something enormous standing among buildings while the world throws everything it has at it. Neither approach is automatically better. They simply create different experiences. Monster horror makes the creature feel close, even when we barely see it. Monster action makes the creature feel enormous because we finally can. One keeps us beside the people trying to escape. The other pulls us back far enough to watch the battle. I usually prefer the horror side. I like not knowing exactly what is in the fog. I like the moment before the full reveal. I like the creature that remains slightly beyond understanding. Because once the weapons arrive and the monster steps fully into the light, part of the fear disappears. The destruction may become louder. The danger may spread across the city. But something intimate has been lost. The feeling that the creature could be anywhere. The feeling that no one is coming. The feeling that survival may depend on staying quiet and hoping it passes by. Monster horror tells us to hide. Monster action tells us to watch. One keeps the creature in the dark. The other places it beneath the searchlights. And sometimes the line between them is nothing more than the moment the monster becomes visible enough to fight. This is the quiet Unease. Stay safe until we meet again.